Good morning. This is October the 4th, Wednesday 2023, and we are in BBIS first semester English class. And as you told me last time, we were discussing where do we stand. I guess we have had more than 4 or 5 classes on that essay, and I do not want to spend more time on that. If you find time, check videos, and if they're useful, watch. Otherwise, it's okay. We'll move ahead. Now we are moving to the next essay, next text. I mean, unit 1. That is, we're reading now. We're moving to the story. Let me show you here. A cover by Mr. Premchand. So, Premchand is a very famous Indian story writer, novelist, and I still remember reading one story by him in class 11, I guess. The story was it Namak? Or Namak Ka Daroga. Then his full name is, that's the title, Munshi, and his actual name is Dhanpat Rai, as you can see here. It's given somewhere, I guess. His actual name is Dhanpat Rai, right? Yeah. And this story that we are going to read now, the theme of this story is intra-cultural variation in India. So in Where Do We Stand, we read about intercultural variation among different cultures, like Japanese, Caucasian, Russian, Estonian, Saudi, American, etc. Now this is intra-cultural, means how things go within a single culture. Right? So this story is about intracultural variation in India, particularly caste system. Right? So in caste system, it's easy to understand for us because in Nepal also we have this thing. So we all have our surnames, last names, and our last names indicate caste. It's a system of division in society, and wrongly, many people think that certain castes have higher, let's say, higher status in society, and certain castes have lower status. That's a wrong idea. We should never think like that, right? We should think all human beings are equal. Never believe in caste discrimination. Okay, that's what we're teaching you. Okay, now when there is caste system, and particularly if suppose in caste system we have hierarchy. For example, traditionally if you see, Brahmins have been placed at the higher position, right? And then you have Kshatris in Hindu system. Then you have Vaishyas in Hindu system. Then you have Shudras in Hindu system. And such division is very controversial. This is very controversial. The problem with this division is that it keeps a hierarchical relation, and the people up there start thinking that we are superior to these 3 groups, and people down there, they have this feeling that we have been exploited, discriminated, segregated, and we need to fight. And you can see in society such fight is going on. Even today we have people who call themselves as Dalit. I don't like the word Dalit itself. Nobody is Dalit. Nobody should be called Dalit. But some people call themselves Dalit, and they fight against people who call themselves Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, etc. Such thing is not good. All human beings are equal. Human beings may have only 2 castes, male and female. This is what Balkan Sama said somewhere, that human beings have only 2 castes, male and female. We need to correct that also. Now human beings are 3 castes. male, female, and the other gender. If somebody watches my video, they might complain me. Why Divakar sir, you don't count us, right? The third gender, right? Okay, let's move on. So this story is about caste system and its effect. And we understand that caste system always has bad effect. It has bad effect. It never has good effect. I don't know if it has good effect. Okay. So, okay, now let's move to the story. Let's read the story. Now, as we read a story, like we were reading the essay last time, and we decided like there is a claim, there is a reason, there is evidence, there is qualifier, there is counter argument. We said elements of an essay, elements of an argument, I mean. In the same way, when we read a story, stories also have elements, and we will check them. We'll read and I'll tell you what's there. For example, the boy's name was Keshav. In a note copy, you make a note like characters and write Keshav instantly. The moment you read, you note down, right? So, in a story, there are characters. Okay, the boy's name was Keshav. The girl's Prema. Now we have another character. Prema. The girl's name was Prema. Now note down the character. They went to the same college and they were in the same class. Now in a story there is something called exposition or setting. And setting has three things: place, time, and atmosphere. By atmosphere we mean the dominant feeling. Okay, now here it says they went to same college. Now we know a place in the story, right? They went to a college. Now here we note down place, college. Now if later we find out where is that college, we will note down. So when we read a story, we look for setting. And setting has three things: place, time, and atmosphere. Atmosphere is, sometimes when we read a story, from the very beginning, we sense suspense in the story. Sometimes we read a story, from the very beginning, we sense romance in the story. Sometimes we read a story, from the very beginning, we sense hatred in the story. Sometimes we start reading a story, from the very beginning, we sense idea of friendship in the story. The dominant feeling in the story is atmosphere. Every story presents a word. See, stories are worlds of imagination. Stories are worlds based on imagination. And that world has a feeling. Just as when you come to college early morning, you have a feeling. Serene environment, very clean, clear, no crowd, nothing. You have a good feeling. Imagine you were in a college downtown in the city, there were all buildings were clustered together, and there was a lot of noise of buses and trucks. You'll have another feeling. So, atmosphere is the kind of feeling that a story creates as you read. Well, you will understand gradually. But it's difficult to understand. Knowing atmosphere is not easy. So, okay, we'll read. College, we now know the place. And they were in same class. Now we note down here. Make an arrow and write in same class. We're also outlining. Keshav believed in new ways. Now when you study characters, when you note down characters, what do you look for characters? For example, you look about their belief system. What do they believe? What is their belief system? I mean, what does a character believe? What is the value? For example, we read that. What does it believe? It says, believed in new ways and was opposed to the old caste customs. It's important. Now you need to note down. You have to note down. You have to keep in mind. Because the purpose of reading is understanding. The purpose of reading is understanding. And understanding means separating what is more useful and what is less useful. Now this information about the clarification is more important. We need to Note down. So Keshav is, he believes in new ways. That means Keshav is progressive. That means we can easily guess that Keshav does not believe in caste system. Keshav does not believe in caste system. We know now. And opposed to the old caste customs, now you need to note down this thing here in your note copy. When you note characters, Keshav, then note down. Prema adhered to the old order and fully accepted the traditions. Now look, Prema, you note down. Note down this thing here. You note down in your copy, for example. If you're reading at home, you need to note down. This is how we prepare outline. Am I speaking too fast? Please tell me, because sometimes I don't know how fast I am speaking, and then I get a complaint. Sir, you are running at 100 speed and we couldn't catch you. Okay. So look here. In a story, there is something called plot. Plot is the sequence of things that happen in a story. And when you talk about plot, you will see that stories open with a normal situation. Stories open with normal situation. Like for example, here you see there are two boys, Keshav and Prema, and they study in a college. Right? Very normal situation, ordinary thing. Like every movie starts like this. And in narrative, in stories, a story will open in a normal way. First paragraph, no problem. Very good scenario. You begin the story. By the time you move second, third, fourth paragraph, second page, you will see that stories have conflict. They introduce conflict. They introduce conflict. What is conflict? Conflict is, let's say, a problem. Conflict is this child and me talk and we have different opinion. Now this can lead to conflict. Conflict is something that brings bad relation. Conflict is something that brings something unpleasant. Like today, when I left home for college, I had conflict with nature. It was raining like cats and dogs, and my shoes got drenched, and I had to polish them again here. So, conflict between human being and nature. Conflict can be between people. Conflict can be people in society. You love an intercaste boy, and society opposes you. Conflict can be between you and your parents. You got B grade, your parents scold you, why not A grade? And there is a conflict. Okay? Conflict, differences leading to problem. Now look here. See the seeds of conflict. See here the conflict is based on ideology. For example, Keshav believes in new ways. Look, as it said, Keshav believes in new ways. And Prema adhered to the old order, followed old order. Now, what is old order? Old order means for a girl, let's say, follow your parents. If you are a girl, then don't fall in love in college. Don't make a boyfriend. Let your parents find a boy for you. They will arrange your marriage. In Indian society, in Indian culture, for a girl, following old order particularly means completely obedient, shy. Girls are supposed to be shy. If they laugh out loud, they will be accused of, I don't know the English word for that. I don't know what to say with tawlo in English, I don't know. Naughty? Naughty? Yeah, naughty. Or if you laugh out loud, somebody might say, Has mat pagli pyar. Right. Sorry for this this slogan, right? So, following old order means traditional type of girl. Now, Keshav is not that. So, do you see, Keshav and Prema have differences of their value system, belief system. And this is right This is the seed of conflict. In the beginning. Oh, can I move ahead? Is this clear? Let's move ahead. Okay. But all the same, whenever I told you, in any piece of writing, if you find a word like but, please understand that the idea before but and the idea after but will be opposite. They will be opposite. But all the same, there was a strong attachment. See, they had different belief system, but they had attachment. It's biological sometimes, I feel. Why otherwise two, a boy and girl having different belief system will fall in love? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know, younger people, you may know this. But answer. Okay. But all the same, there was a strong attachment between them and the whole college was aware of it. Now in a note copy, where you are writing characters, you note down attachment. Although he was a Brahmin, now in the note copy where you noted character, write Brahmin. Here you are writing Keshav, write Brahmin. Because as we read, this is academic reading. We are reading the story not in a train bus but in a classroom. So we are scanning the story for all the information. I will note down. Reading without noting down is a crime. At least in the classroom, right? If our purpose is academic, not pleasure. Okay. But all the same, there was a strong attachment between them and the whole college was aware of it. Although he was a Brahmin, Keshav regarded marriage with a Banya girl as the culmination of his life. Look here. Although, what does although do? Although brings concessive clause, which means although introduces two opposite ideas. Although introduces two opposite ideas. What are two opposite ideas? Keshav was Brahmin. Prema was Banya girl. Banya in Hindi we pronounce Banya. It's not Banya. In Nepal you call Banya. Title Banya. But in India it's not Banya, it's Banya. And Banya is a community of business people. Like in Newar. Here in you call Newar. And within Newar you have many castes, right? So like Newar is a large community. In India, Banya is the community of the business people. So look here. Although now Brahmin, so-called higher caste, Banya, so-called lower caste. Talking like this is bad. I'm sorry, because I want to make you understand. Right? Now, when you have higher versus lower, although opposite caste, although he was a Brahmin, he regarded marriage with this Banya girl as the culmination of his life. Anybody, you also believe that if you are in love, you will say that the end of my love, Divakar sir will be marrying that boy or that girl, right? I hope so. You will not say that Divakar sir, the end of my love is having bodily pleasure, I'm sure. Do you think that end of love is sex? No. End of true love is marriage. End of true love is marriage. And end of false love is physical pleasure. End of false love is physical pleasure, relation. End of true love is marriage. So Keshav here seems very idealist, right? But you will find that Keshav is not like that. Keshav is not what he appears to be in the story. Keshav changes. Keshav changes. And a character that changes as the story develops is known as a round character. What do we call? What do we call? Round. A character whose character changes as the story develops. What kind of character do we call them? Round, like a wheel. and a character who does not change his values and belief and ideology throughout the story is called flat character. What do we call?
Flat character.
Say again. F-L-A-T, say. And say R-O-U-N-D. Round character, say. Flat character, say. Okay. One that changes is round character. One that does not change is flat character. Round and flat. Okay. So I said Kesav is round. Kesav is round because he changes. Okay. So in the beginning he says that marrying is culmination of his. And keep in mind, you will see that how this boy changes. Okay, move ahead. So, the caste traditions he considered fraud. Good, good. I agree. He thought caste is a fraud. But people are not always what they say. So you should be very careful. Don't go after people what this. Don't go after what people say. Go after what people do. Do not judge people by what they say. Judge people by what they do. So we will judge Kesav not by what he is saying here. We will judge Kesav by what he does in the story. Read ahead. If anything embodied the truth for him, it was prema. Very natural. Young people like you, when you fall in love, you say, oh, she's my truth, she's my goddess, you will say always, right? Under the tree, in the park, you say like that. Because when you are in love in the beginning days and you are dating, your papa is paying your petrol, his papa is paying his petrol, no tension, you get papa's money and you fall in love, you date, and there's ideal world. Ideal world. So there you say, what you say? If anything, you are my truth. You are my goddess. You are my God. But when you face the social reality, then everything changes. Then everything changes. That's the problem with young people like you. You don't know the social reality. Right? Move ahead. But for prema, it was impossible to take. Look here. Whenever you see but in the story, please understand that if you pay the language of the story, but always introduces conflict in the story. Here. Every time you meet the word but, stop and watch carefully. Because but will tell a problem. See, but for prema, it was impossible to take one step in opposition to the dictates of caste and family. I'll tell my story to you. Why should I hide? Let's be honest. Once I fell in love with a girl when I was in class 11. I was a Brahmin boy and she was a Srivastav girl, a Baniya girl. Right? It took me 6 months to tell her I love her. 6 months. And we were in love for almost 2 years. But I never told it to anybody. Anybody. Only we two knew we love each other. Even our classmates did not know. Look how secret we kept it. Right? Why? What was the reason? My father was a renowned Pandit. My father is a very traditional person, very religious figure. And I fell in love with that girl, but I couldn't imagine marrying her. Because I was always aware that this caste will come. I was always aware if society knows that I am in love with that girl, then my father's reputation will be tarnished. So for the sake of my father, I just ended it. I just ended it. And she also knew that we can love, but we can't make society accept it because the caste system. So caste is a very true issue. And finally, my father found the girl for me. He arranged my marriage. Right? something similar may happen with you or may not happen with you. I shared my life story just to make you understand that caste is a real thing. Okay? So move ahead. So, Prema says impossible to take one step. Why I'm telling this story? Because you know, in my school days, I still remember the girls were very shy, the girls were very scared. We boys were daring. We were daring. We might propose them. We might say something unpleasant publicly. But girls, no, they will always hide their face and then they'll make sure that nobody watches them. Why? Because our culture raises a girl child differently than a boy child. Though now times are changing, though you may feel that Divakar sir, in our family, our parents have no discrimination, but you may find still examples of girls in families where they feel that they are being raised differently than their brothers. And because girls are raised differently, they have different value system. Here you see Prema, impossible to take one step in opposition dictates of caste and Prema was a Baniya girl. It was impossible to go against Baniya customs. So Prema couldn't imagine marrying a Brahmin, though she loved. And she couldn't imagine having love marriage. Not going outside family means agreeing what family says. And this means family will arrange your marriage. Right? Now see the seed of conflict. I told you, a story begins normal and then we start seeing the conflict. Okay. One evening the two of them met in a secluded corner. Now, met. This is the verb. This verb is in past simple. Please understand that this text we are reading, it is called a narrative. It is called a narrative. Narrative means story. And stories are often in past tense. They are often in past tense. In a secluded corner of Victoria Park and sat down on the grass facing one another. The strollers had gone off one by one, but these two lingered on. They had got into a discussion. This is very normal because at my home also I have a park in front and I see such things every day. If you fall in love, you look for a place to sit down and talk. Right? Very natural. Now, here we have a problem. They had got into a discussion. Look, I told, a story starts normal and then we have conflict, then we have complication, then we have crisis and something disaster happens and then the story changes. This is the movement of a plot in a sense. I'll show you. They had got into a discussion. It was impossible to end. It's natural. 2 days before, today is on Sunday night, I woke up around 2 o'clock, sat down to study in my study table in the study room, and then I heard a noise. Opened the window, and so across the road, in the park's benches, there was a boy, there was a girl. It was raining. No wind, no umbrella. They were drenched, and they were gossiping. After 15 minutes, the boy began to shout. After half an hour, the boy began to shout so loud that everybody in the tour woke up. And then the boy and girl began to quarrel. And the boy began to shout, the girl was speaking slow. And for 1.5 hours the boy was shouting in the rain. And around 4:30 they left. And I don't know where they came from. They were in a bike. I began to think, what is going on to the boys and girls these days? It's raining, it's night, it's a park, and they are quarreling midnight. Something similar. Look, when you fall in love, young people, you have such a situation, you discuss something. You say something to her, she says no, and you start fighting. Okay. Keshav said, angrily. Have you seen? Boys are full of anger. And they have more anger when they are with a girl because they show dominance. Boys show dominance to the girls through anger. See the male, masculinity, boys. try to envy. All it means is that you don't care about me. Actually, Keshav was saying, darling, have you told your papa? Have you told your mama about our love? And Prema said, no, no, I haven't. Why? I can't. It's not easy. And Keshav wanted Prema to tell her parents as soon as possible. And Keshav wanted Prema to get married soon. He was willing to marry her as soon as possible. And Prema could not disclose the news. You saw earlier. Prema's problem was, as you saw the line, what was Prema's problem? She adhered to the old traditions and she could not go against caste and family. She could not go against caste and family. So caste would not allow intercaste. Family would not allow love marriage. Family would not allow love marriage, and caste system would not allow intercaste marriage. So Prema could not tell the family. Is that easy for you? Go this afternoon home and tell, Mama, Mama, I'm in love with a boy. I want to marry. Can you tell so easily? No, that's not. It's easy to fall in love, but it's not easy to tell your family you're in love, right? Okay. So we read. All it means that you don't care about me. Prema tried to calm him down. This is what girls do. Boys shout and girls try to calm the boys down, right? Because girls are by nature calm. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Boys are by nature violent. Girls are by nature calm. There is an essay in your course. If you have this book, there is a chapter, gender role, and there is an essay. Boys will be boys. What did they say? I guess it's a course also. If you find time, read it, and you will know what is the nature of boys and girls. Okay. Prema tried to calm him down. You are being unjust. Now look. What is this? In a story, we were noting down setting earlier. Then we noted character. Once a character, the next element is dialogue. Please note down. A story has dialogue. A story has dialogue. Look here. You are being unjust to me, Keshav. It's only that I don't know. Look her problem. I don't know how I can bring it up at home without upsetting them. In those days, if a daughter comes home and on the dinner table while having food tells her parents, Papa, Papa, Mommy, Mommy, I am in love with an intercaste boy, it will be like an atomic bomb at home. It will be like an atomic bomb. It will destroy the family because it was out of imagination. Today things are changing. Today things have changed a lot, but this story was written almost, I don't know exactly, but maybe 60, 70, 100 years before. They are, look, why she can't tell it easily? They are devoted to the old traditions. So the conflict in this story is, old traditions versus new traditions. This is the problem. Old traditions versus new traditions. If they hear anything about a matter like this, means love affair between a so-called upper caste boy and a so-called lower caste girl out of community, from me, can't you imagine how distressed they will be? See, you said what the theme. What was the theme? Caste system and its effect on people. On people. So, what is the effect, she said? The parents will be distressed. Oh God. 2-3 years back, I read a story from Tarai. A class 10 girl was going to have tuition every day, and she fell in love with a boy, and the girl came from Yadav community, and that girl fell in love with another caste boy, and then the parents tried to discourage her and break the relation. The girl disagreed, and sorry to say, the father killed his daughter and burned her body secretly. And when the sad body was found by police, finally the father was arrested. And the father said, I killed her to protect my ijat. To protect my ijat. So this statement, ijat ka sawal hai, is a dangerous thing. This statement, ijat ka sawal hai. This is a dangerous thing. Have you heard the word honor killing? HONORKILLING. Honor killing is often seen in Pakistan. Honor killing is where the family kills their child to protect the honor of the family. I've heard many times, many examples. You log in Google, find out. In many hardliner Muslim society, when girls go against traditions, then parents kill the girl in the name of protecting the honor of the family. All these things are bad. All these things are bad. We should not accept them. We should stand and fight against them. I give example because it says that it will upset parents. Prema says, and the good thing about the child is, the girl, she never wants to upset her family. Because already you read that Prema could not go against her parents, right? They are devoted to the old traditions, and if they hear anything about matter like this from me, can't imagine how distressed they will be. And now Keshav says, and aren't you a slave of those old traditions? Look what Keshav says. Aren't you a slave of those old traditions too then? I told you the conflict in this story is between old traditions and new traditions. But Keshav here speaks like this, so progressive attitude. At the end of the story, you will see just opposite. Actually, Keshav follows old traditions and Prema does not. But in the beginning, Keshav says, I don't follow old traditions, they are fraud. People are not what they say. People are what they do. People are what they do. And Keshav does not do what he says. Keshav does not do what he says. No, I am not. Look, Prema sharply says, instantly, no, I am not the slave of old traditions. And Prema proves it. Prema said, her eyes tender. You can imagine tears coming. I wish you could act out this drama, right? I wish we could perform this drama on a stage, right, for the people. But what my mother and father want is more important to me than anything. See this statement. I feel good when I read this line because I too have a daughter, right, like Prema. And I want my daughter to feel like this. But if I look from her viewpoint, it may be different. So look what it says. My mother and father want is more important. This is the problem. This is the problem. The problem is girls don't have control over their life and destiny. Girls don't have control over their life and destiny. In one story, marriage is a private affair by Chinua Achebe. A boy is in love in college, he has a girlfriend, and at home, his father is arranging his marriage. And when he goes into summer vacation, daddy says, son, I found a girl for you. And when he knows who the girl is, then you know who the girl is? Daddy has found an Amazon girl, tall, robust, like John Cena body, muscular girl. That was the girl who used to beat him badly when he was a child. Daddy has selected a girl to marry me, and that girl used to beat me everywhere when I was a child. Now I'm in love with another girl at college, and the whole story starts. Wonderful story. What is story? Marriage is a private affair. By whom? Chinua Achebe, Acheb, Nigerian writer. This afternoon, if you feel good, read this story. Okay. And you yourself don't count at all. Look, Keshav says, this is true. In girls' life, girls themselves don't count, their parents count more, right? Okay, but things are changing. Is that how you want to understand it? I used to think those old ways were just for silly hypocrites, but now it seems that educated girls like you knuckle under to them to since I'm ready to give up everything for you. I expect the same thing from you. Look, what Keshav says? Keshav says, I'm ready to give up everything for you. And I want you to give up everything for me. This everything means give up parents. Give up your parents. Like that Bollywood song. चलो भाग चले पूरब की ओर प्यार हमारा कहीं चोरी ना कर ले पश्चिम के ये चोर. I still remember the song. I forgot the movie. Two young girl and boy fell in love, and then family doesn't agree with the love. They run away, and when they run away, they sing this song. चलो भाग चले पूरब की ओर प्यार हमारा कहीं चोरी ना कर ले पश्चिम के ये चोर. So Keshav wants prema. चलो भाग चले. Keshav wants prema. चलो भाग चले. And prema says कैसे भाग चले? कैसे भाग चले? मम्मी क्या बोलेगी? पापा क्या बोलेंगे? Right? So how can we run away? Sorry for this mixture of language. I speak Hindi as well. Okay. Okay. Here we move. Okay. So old ways and then yes. In silence, Prema wondered what authority she had over her own life. Note it down. This story is saying that girls have no authority over their life. So this story by Munshi Premchand makes a strong criticism of culture. The story makes a strong criticism of Indian culture. It is bringing out the bitter reality that in Indian culture, girls have no authority over their own life and destiny, and that's not a good thing. She had no right to go in any look. She had no right. She had no right to go in any way against the mother and father who had created her from their own blood and reared her with love. When I teach you this line, I have a problem. Because I keep myself in place of a father. And I imagine if my daughter comes home one day and says, Daddy, here is my decision, and I don't care about you, I'll feel hurt. Because I'll say that I gave birth to you, I reared you. When I went to market to buy something, I didn't buy something because I wanted to send the money for you. So do you see, there's an emotional attachment between parents and children. Right? And Prema doesn't want to break this, but Keshav easily wants to break it. So this is a very touchy line. To Keshav, she said humbly, can love be considered only in terms of... This is very important line here. Okay. Can love be considered only in terms of husband and wife and not friendship? This is a big question. What is the purpose of love, or what is the end of love? So earlier Keshav said, if you remember, Keshav said the end of love is marriage. Keshav said end of love is marriage. Prema is saying end of love can be just friendship also. We can love each other as friends. Why is Prema saying? Because Prema is aware that marriage is not possible because of caste system. Actually, Prema wants to marry Keshav, but Prema is aware that this may bring difficulty. And here comes a question. Let me tell you, prema is an idealist. Prema is a Platonist. Because for Plato, love is not in the body. For Plato, love is an idea. Plato says that these things you see, they are not real. Only ideas are real. So, idealist means love can be just friendship. Platonic love means love where body is not needed. Love where sex is not needed. Now, Keshav is a realist. Keshav is a materialist. For a realist, for a materialist, love means the body. If no body, how do you feel the love? Where you kiss, where you hug. You can't love in the air. You can't love without person being there. See the problem? Their value system, belief system. Prema is idealist, Keshav is. That's why Keshav says, let's get married and have children and have family. Prema says, we can just be friends also. We don't have to marry. You will drive me crazy. Now Keshav has no way out. And he says, you will drive me crazy with your rationalizations. Keshav said harshly, just understand this. Look, his dhamki. What the boys do? The boys give dhamki. Look his dhamki. Keshav says, you will, okay, if, just understand, if I am disappointed, I can't go on living. Oh God. Keshav says, if you said no, I'll commit suicide. Look the dhamki. This is what the boys do. This is what the boys do to make the girl surrender. If no, I'll commit suicide. What a threat. I'm sorry boys, I might sound harsh for you, but I'm making your son's story, right? I'm sorry, I realize that we have boys also in the class and I shouldn't speak like that. Okay. I am a materialist and it's not possible for me to be satisfied with some intangible happiness in the world of imagination. So Keshav is materialist, Prema is idealist. So the conflict in this story is idealism versus materialism. We stop here. Today is Wednesday. We'll read the whole story line by line like this, spanning 3 days, no problem. And then, once I teach you one story this way, I will not teach other stories. I will not teach, you will come and teach the story here. Because I am demonstrating you how to read, line by line. Okay? Do you want Kokhai education? There is something called Kokhai education. Have you seen that Horlicks advertisement? There is a mother with food, and there is a child, and the child doesn't eat. Then the child runs in the garden, and the mother goes, that is, sometimes I think there is something called Hutu education. What is Hutu education? Hutu education is where teachers give you notes and you spoon feed and you don't learn. You don't want, and you're fed. You are strongly fed, like Hutu education. So let's not have Hutu education, right? You go to YouTube and watch, that's a funny video. The mother runs up to the side, and then there is a Hutu, then Horlicks. Sharper, taller, stronger. All that cheating, right? Okay, leave that. So I'm stopping my class here. I will continue tomorrow. It's a wonderful story. We'll read like this line by line. Okay? Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. I don't know if my recording worked or not. I don't know. Okay, thank you so much.